YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. Well, it is Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m. approximately. Up for a few hours, and I'm finally able to sit down and take a look at what's been happening in the charts, and maybe we can find a trade, a paper trade demo, um, to get into. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, let's get tiny. Get tiny. Okay, cool. All right, I'm using the one screen today. Let's dip into our, uh, some days I really wish I could just work, let's connect to our paper trading. I could just do this, all day. But as with every type of venture, you've got to start somewhere. You got to learn. You got to grow into it. You can't just go nuts. All right, so yesterday I had specced out a few areas of interest for buy side, and they took it all out. The new week opening gap, um, let's look at the 1 hour. The new week opening gap for this week, nice and wide, and they took out Sunday's high, and they've gone and taken out last week. Actually, let me see. That was Thursday's high. That's Monday. Yeah, so they took out last week's high as well. So if we dip back out to the daily, and actually, let me open up my new week opening gap actuals. I don't need my ATR on here. All right. There we are. So they've literally dived into a high time frame PDRA, right? So they've finished up taking this fair value gap. So rolling up into it, which means they're also rolling into this bearish well, bearish order blocks up here. I guess I would call this a mitigation block, potentially. Still more to be eaten. They take out this whole thing, then they're going up for the new week opening gap that formed on the 5th. And because they created this new one, I'm going to go ahead and I have it a different color so I can specify what's going on there. So if we were to hide everything, oh, sorry, I came over here to do something and take a look at the look back and cast forward. And when I did this, the first shift happened here, and we're coming up on another shift in another couple of, supposedly by this Thursday. It's already starting, it looks like. Now, the seasonal tendency is for it to, hold on. Let's, you know what? Let me not flounder around. Yeah, let me make sure I have a screenshot that is prepped for that. So don't judge me. I should have a seasonal tendencies chart for bar charts handy. Let me just make sure I have it. There we go. Awesome. And let's plop it over here. And for the finally, let's drop that there so I can find it easily next time. Okay, so for S&P, we are in this point where the tendency, once it hits, it starts to switch as we get closer to the end of March. and we start to roll into April. So at the end of March, it tends to turn bullish. And so we're looking at the 2-year, 5-year, 10, 15, 20. So seasonal tendency, we're slowly coming into what would essentially be a bullish turn, and prices are starting to move up as well as we coming into April. So we'll see. And so we are past this 60 days for this. So I'm going to adjust my look back I'm going to start adjusting my look back based on when we start April, based off of March, and then make adjustments that way. I'm not gonna bother today, but let's take a look at where we're going. So on the daily, yep, so we have just successfully come into this bullish order block right here. And we've got, if we can get past all of this, we've got this daily fair value gap up here for them to pull into. And then we have volume imbalances, well, liquidity board there, volume imbalance there, them to play with. So, and let's look at the monthly. Ugh, I mean, what is that? It's almost we can go in any direction is what that looks like to me. This weekly is looking bullish. Monthly is green, so technically bullish. The daily is bullish, so let's look at the 4-hour. Also very bullish on the 4-hour. We consolidated for a while, but we do have FOMC on Wednesday, 2 o'clock. So we'll see what's happening. In the meantime, I'm just going to outline areas of interest. Well, they've already come into that, so I'm just going to note the rest of it up here. All right. And let's go to the 1-hour, and that's where it's supposed to be. We can remove the buy side that we're thinking about yesterday, and take that out. Oh, I guess you know what? Let's drop back down to, drop into the 5-minute. So I had a couple of, I didn't really have a ton of time yesterday, but I had a couple of areas where I made some assumptions about price action. So let me just drop screenshots in here from my journals. So this was after 8:30. We saw them come from a big fair value gap from the 1-hour, make a proper nice shift into the new week opening gap. So from this shift, I was thinking order block right there as a sample. They never came back down into it, but this is also a good scenario for me to recognize that if they're respecting the top of the fair value gap like that, then this can be an IO Fed entry to go up. And then once that happened, I was like, okay, perfect. This is a scenario for me to test that out, right? So I said, okay, so top of this thing, 8-tick stop loss, and boom, there she blows. Not bad. So first one didn't work out. Second one would have been nice. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten a fill, is what I'm saying there. And my second sample is from yesterday. Let me see here. All right. So this was 10 something. All right, so we had a breaker here, a fair value gap that formed at the 10, I think 10:01 or whatever time frame. And so we have price shift. We're still bullish. It formed another breaker, which is a great one. A lower low, a low, and a lower low. Then it busted through breaker. It coincides with the fair value gap they've been playing inside of. And then I was thinking we could get an entry from in here to go up. But I was thinking I'd like to see a scenario where they've already sort of taken, like if they've taken the whole of this, then maybe, midpoint of this. So it's not perfectly drawn, but you generally get the idea. It's not bad. So it's 748 right now, and we've dived beautifully into this fair value gap. And I'm gonna drop down. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Okay. So we've hit the top, we've taken out this guy, and we have essentially hit what would be a bearish breaker right here. We've got a high, a higher high, busted through, bearish breaker. So what I want to see right now is what they're going to do as their, actually, is that one? Sorry, this one. This one. I want to see what they're going to do as they poke about in this space. So and do we have, so no fair value gaps or liquidity voids. Tiny one right there for them to pop up into. Okay, so they've hit, let's note that. So let's do a bearish breaker. This to the right. All right, and let's see how they behave around that. So I'm relatively bullish, so I'm okay if they choose to pull back into an order block to continue their ride up. So right now we've got this fair value gap. They seem to be respecting that. I'm going to drop down to 1 minute. Okay. So yeah, they've tapped it once, twice, 3 times. Like a little shift right here. If we were to do like a quick scalp, I would think. They're coming back up into this. Let's see what 8 ticks would look like. And, for them to dive back into this. Just a quick like 20 tick scalp, right? But I also think it's a bullish day, so I shouldn't fight against the bullishness, right? So just as an example, because then they would just be coming back in down into this order block right here. Right now they're consolidating and building orders, so that's like a reversal order, but there would have to be a significant break below here for me to believe in that per se. Ooh, are they creating like a little mini gap right there? Let's see. Wow, that's a void. But the candle's still forming, so. And look at how they're behaving around this thing, right? This is like a nice little IO Fed. It feels like came in, we tapped the breaker, da da da. So now I need to see them bust through. This guy's consequent encroachment, the midpoint right there. Let's see how they behave around it. And then of course you have consequent encroachment of consequent encroachment, haha, which is where these guys fell into. All right. So volume imbalance. So we're continuing up. So the general idea would be we're long, right? So wouldn't actually go do anything crazy. And the next area of interest is all the way up here for me. So let's see if we can get another break here, and then potential long entry. And I need to check to see if we're at a fair value gap. Let's drop down to the 5 minutes. Ah, we are. We just busted through one on between 40.11, 40.10, very small one. 40.11, 40.10. Gotta get comfortable writing this stuff down. And I need to double check to see if there's anything in between. And I'm using this as my reference point for that stuff. Okay, they just busted through that, so let's see. All right, nice. Now, what's important to me here is they left this liquidity void here, fair value gap order block. So my thoughts are this, right? I'm gonna see from a long entry, can I get 8 ticks? It's below the order block. That's beautiful. And so I want to get an entry that is where they filled that out at minimum. They filled that in at minimum. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm aiming for something crazy. Let's see, what's to the left? Always look to the left. Okay. All right, so, aha, there we are. So next area for buy side, I believe, is here. So let's delineate that. There's this, that, and then there's that, and there's that. And then there's the big boy up here. So let's just let's note that just before we get all the way up there. And let's see, so close. Fair value gap here. It's a big one right here. Nice little one right there. Okay, so that might be enough. Okay, can you? Okay, they're hiding. They're hiding. I can't see. Okay, can one of you? Thanks. All right. All right, so if I'm aiming, oops, and we can check SMTs since we're here. So we have the NASDAQ going up. Let's see. Um, hmm. Uh, Slight divergence there on the YMM. NASDAQ's pointing up. Very, very slight. Everybody is at the base going up, just on the top here. They did take that out barely. All right, we'll see how that unfolds. But we're very bullish. So let's minimize that. Minimize. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we are. So let's see what we can do. And coming down to where I'd want to get an entry. Come on, you can do it. You know you want to fill it. We've taken that out. We've stopped here. Let it come down. I wanted to shoot and fill most of that. All right, so while we're waiting, let's drop this at the base here, top there. And if we're aiming for something really top of that order block. So if I'm going to be conservative, I will go for a guy. Approximately 885. Okay. Now it could just run away for all I know, but so this is also a good learning experience, right? Like I expected them to fill the void in, right? And they might still, I don't know. I could have also taken it at the top of the fair value gap, the top of the order block, which is probably what I should have done. Let's see. The high of this is 4016.50. The low of this is 4016.50, of course. It's literally spot on. So I wanted to get an even bigger advantage, right? Okay. So let's see. And I don't think there's any news, right? So it's Tuesday. So some CAD stuff at 8:30. 10 a.m. Some moderate US and Yellen speaks. Okay. So consequent encroachment. Let's see what this looks like. Let's dip out of this and just go to the 1 minute there and like watch it on the 15 minute. Let's zoom in. And the 1 hour. Dang it. Beautiful trade idea, but I need to. Now, could I have gotten, if I'd taken the top of the order block like I should have, would have still been below the order block. That's what I should have done. What I want is 8 tick stop loss that's below the order block. So, the idea is good, but I wasn't able to press the button. So maybe it'll give me another opportunity. So we're pushing up. The idea is sound, just I need to refine my entry. Look at that. Low risk. Bet you anything we would have gotten 20 ticks already. Let's see. From here, 4016, 4019. Yeah. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we haven't gotten to 20 ticks yet on this. Constant crunch appears to be acting as support and personally expect it to continue going up. It's just playing games at the moment. Oh, drinking some very, very, very healthy juice. Gotta get comfortable pressing the button. But it didn't come down to where I wanted to come down. And I should have recognized that once it hit this green candle and support, I could have taken it. We're being indecisive, but we've taken the top of this candle out, so it's not bad. And yeah, so about to hit that 20 tick mark. Once we hit some good setup, but I need to work on the entry. But we're still relatively bullish for the moment. So still haven't gotten 20 ticks, man. Got 21s up here. Make sure I'm not crazy. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Sorry. So 20 from 2025, 40, 2025. Ooh, they're forming a very, 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 very equal highs up here. Okay. Expect this to act as support, interestingly enough. Let's see. Nasdaq's taken that. Still pointing upwards. And the Dow, same. What's the Dixie doing? Let's go take a look at the Dixie. Okay, so Dixie's reaching down. Has it hit something interesting? I always assume it's hit like an order block or something. And it has hit an order block. All right, consequent encroachment acting as support. All these fascinating concepts, right? They're obviously going to take these out. It's too clean. Come on. You can give us 5 ticks from that entry point. Hmm. My preference would have been to find something before 8 o'clock. But I mean, this is when I got in here, so. What does this look like on the 5-minute? Just a slow reach. It's been like a nice slow reach upward. Wow. So what happened at midnight? It just opened, then consolidated the whole time until, so like if I'd come on to London at 2 o'clock, come on to London at 2 o'clock, would I have found something useful at 2 o'clock? Probably would have found something. So 2 o'clock, we would have been waiting for them to get out of this boring range. Then it would have broken right here, order block right there, fair value gap, and share the order block to let it ride back up. Take out that guy. Another opportunity. They didn't come back in to clear that out. There's been riding high, ignoring voids and things. Oh, hello. Giving us another opportunity. Let's see. This green candle is holding this, is supporting this, so it's turning into support. Now, we're at the top of this big fair value gap. I think it's from the 1 hour, right? Yeah, so we're at the top of this 1 hour fair value gap. So I should also be, considering that we've hit what is essentially a high time frame PD array with a breaker attached to it. So we need to let it show us what it wants to do. So attempting an actual entry from here couldn't even give us 20 ticks. I don't like it. I need it to give me a nice, juicy, I mean, it technically did. Order block. We're hanging out inside of that order block. At the top of the fair value gap. I think it's coming down further now. Well, I can be wrong. Still not coming down back into this area. And I'm still wondering if I should be using, say, like the 5 minute for entries, because I wouldn't see that, right, on the 5 minute. What about the 3 minute? The 3 minute. Yeah, on the 3 minute fair value gaps here, order box here, that I would have been a lot more prepped for it. It looks like, what's 2 minute look like? Yeah, 2 minute would have had me at this, at the top of this guy, 401650. The low of that is 401625. So I would have gotten an order in. Nice cushy. That one's 401650 right there. I don't know. For now, I still like the 1 minute. All right, so we're just hanging out at this hourly fair value gap, the last bit of it on the top there. We've got sell side all the way up here. And this is a bearish breaker. It just looks like we're consolidating and making another move up. So for me, this entry, had I gotten it as we're refining things, would still be good until they do a proper break. Although technically this is one, right? Like it's like a short-term break. And at minimum, I feel like they should come down here and take this out to still give me the entry I wanted down here with that 8 tick stop loss. I really want them to do that. But, you know, just because I want it doesn't mean I'm going to get it. That's just not how the universe works. This is price action. This is the market. They can do what they want. But we are inside of this fair value gap finding support. So do I get, they're just sitting, yeah, I'm not going to draw it out. I'm trying to get used to just noting that this is where they're at and this is where they're getting rejected from. Do I get the entry that I want down here? I feel like I can. If they take this out, I'm definitely getting that entry. And there's more of the fair value gap to enjoy. So I'm hoping they blow down in here and then I can get a one, here we go. Come on, baby. I'm bullish. I've got to like trust the analysis. And if not, 8 tick stop loss. Okay, now they're starting to, I expect them to at minimum take this out and come into this. I want to get in on this red candle. Ah, they did it, look. Not very swift at pressing the button though. Ah, I gotta get better at that. Because I came into, if I had a limit order, it would have been filled right there, but I gotta get comfortable doing like the market orders. It's not going anywhere, so we might still get another opportunity. There's still more of this fair value gap down here. I just want to get tight. I just want to get the tightest entry I can. They are not trying to do anything at this point. They're holding tight at that price point. Come on. Okay. That's so annoying. So, see, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I've done it now. I'm in. Okay. I probably should have waited to see how they behave inside of this thing, but ooh, let's say 9 ticks. I want to just be below this area here, and 8 ticks is my limit. Thank you very much. And I'm actually aiming for up here, but we'll see how that plays out. Right, now we're just gonna monitor the trade. Okay. Okay, so now I need them to burst up and be more decisive. Take this out, take that out, then I'm validated. And oh, I don't want to see dollar figures. I just want to see tick value. So let's adjust that. Ticks. Okay. Want to get used to this feeling. So I'm glad that I waited until they actually came back to where I wanted, bought on the red candle coming down, and it actually got me an entry right at the top there. Um, that constant encroachment though is not cute. See how this general area fair value gap holds acts. I want it to act as support. They bust through, then I'm wrong, but it's how the candles close. Like the wicks do the damage, right? The bodies tell the story. And this is one of those situations where I'm not going to move my stop to give myself more room to breathe. That was my analysis. That's what I wanted. I'm not going to make that kind of adjustment. Now, if I absolutely know that it's going to stop me out for sure, then I might save myself a tick or two and then just close it manually. But for now, this is just price moving. It's still within the order blocks. Um, it did just close itself below that, so see what we do here. What's concerning to me is that once it came down, it didn't. That's why you got to be patient, right? You can wait and see what it does in your general vicinity and then take it, because then I could have gotten like an order even lower for this order block at the bottom here too. Well, looks like I'm gonna be wrong and I'm about to be stopped out. So I'm gonna let that play out. And this is a fact of life. Like if I was going to take a trade, I would have probably taken this one. And half of the problem that I'd be having is, yeah, there she blows. All right. Okay. So half the problem I'd be having um is so just got stopped out. Look at the history. $100 flat. That's all I'm willing to lose on my real accounts. That's all I'm gonna play with here. So I did mention earlier that this was also a nice opportunity for a, reversal, but and it's probably a good, recognize good scenario to realize that you're sitting at the top of a fair value gap, and then potentially that might be like coming back down to rebalance price. So I tried and I failed miserably, at least initially. It's not a big problem. What's odd is that from my entry, my original 8 tick stop loss is at 4014.25, which is all the way down here. But when I entered, well, I guess because I did the market order, this is like on a 5 minute. All right, so we're consolidating on the 5 minute. Let's clear this out. And actually probably going to have to start working soon. So, to the 1 minute. So for me to go in the opposite direction, we need to make some adjustments. One, we need to break out of here, give me a nice scenario, and then roll. They just came back down into this order block. Took these guys out and these guys out, and continued on up, potentially. So on the 5 minute, it's basically just looks like it's consolidating. On the 15, looks like it's consolidating. Yeah, on the 1 hour. So it's another good lesson to learn, right? Like don't at the very top, you gotta wait for it to do something useful in that space. Because now that they've tested this run up, finished that move, they can come down and eat the rest of this fair value gap here, all the way down into this order block right here. So we'll see. But for now, I'm gonna stop it there because I want to do as much of this live as possible to play with my thought processes. It's a bullish day, so I'm probably gonna need to look for more clear options. Maybe I'll go until 8:30. So this feels like a continuation down. So this would be a good opportunity to change your mind and take a short, at least into there. Question is, does it have enough space for a 20 tick move? Let's see. Just 20 ticks. And just checking here. Fair value gap right here. They've been getting rejected from. Trying trying to just have the bigger time frame ones up and then just focus in on the smaller ones. Um, we can refine. Looks like my trade idea was right. Just where my entry and the order block I should have been using was wrong. Higher time frame order blocks are best. Okay. Still just consolidating in this space, so gotta learn to be patient. I needed to bust through here to give me another entry. And maybe it might run away, who knows, but it needed to give me something else. 1 hour. So we'll be patient. I'm just curious about this one because I feel like this could work for a little quick hit into this order block. Tiny fair value gap's been holding price up this whole time. I'm trying to be flexible with my thinking, right? So this is looking promising. And we have this order block here. Like maybe if they tap it and get rejected off of it one more time, we could take the short. The 20 ticks is, I mean, they do like to reclaim things, so we'll go till 8:30 and see how this behaves. Because we technically had this shift right here, came back up into the order block right there, then come down. Let's see if could we have gotten 20 ticks from there? Let's see. Still no. Okay, I feel like they're waiting. They're waiting on the news at 8:30, the CAD news. I'm curious to see how that affects anything, you know? Oh, sorry. Took it off. Um, that was my idea. 20 ticks. It's not taking that down. So the things to note, right? Like it needs to keep taking lows out, right? It's not taking any lows out. So that makes me feel like they just wanted to take this out, and let's take a look at these guys, right? So that's pointing up. And the NASDAQ, that's sort of sideways, isn't it? So SMT divergence on the NASDAQ. Let's add the Dow. So those are going up. The NASDAQ's refusing to make a lower low anyway. So my long entry seems to be wanting to pan out from this instead. So let's see if they can take this out. We're coming up on 8:30 for the CAD stuff. I don't know how that's going to affect. I don't know how that's going to affect any of this, but let's get a still ranging. Let's get a nice bust through. We need to bust out of this with some gusto. Lots of room to grow. Um, let's check the ATR for the day. All right, let's do 1 day and set this to, and now remember to leave it in this time. So 5. Da, 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 da. 74 on the exponential. 74. And let's try the original. 79. Okay, so about 80 ticks approximately. Okay. So we've taken that, left that relatively equal. We haven't been able to overtake any of that. Short-term high, intermediate term high, very nice smooth tops. Might just be coming down to this order block, fill in this fair value gap, continue on up. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Okay. Let's see. So we are pointing this way. NASDAQ is flat. And SMT, so that's the main thing. So flat, indecisive. Dixie is, let's go into the 5 minutes. Do that. Dixie's slowly curling up. Let's see. If it takes that out, then we're definitely dropping. Fair value gaps in here. Needs to take this guy out. Ooh, juicy, juicy. I mean, if I was them, I'd be coming to take out these smooth, way too smooth areas up here. I mean, these are also juicy too, but dang, that's juicy. Like so juicy. Like wow. It's coiling upwards. So these guys should be dropping. So this guy, again, flat. It's trying to tell us we going down. Okay. I mean, they're holding. We got it's 8:30 now. What's happening? I don't know if the CAD news would cause any drama for ES. FOMC, yes. This maybe not. Dixie's barely even moved. But the short idea, back to the 20 ticks though. Fair value gap. Let's see. If they don't take this out, then I mean, they're so close to it. I don't see why they wouldn't. Come into this guy right down here, order block. But if they come, take this out and continue up, the signature is there, right? They haven't taken any highs out. Short-term high, short-term high, short-term high. So I would just be waiting for them to take out one of these, preferably this one. I feel like they're going to continue down at least into this. Maybe to clean out the rest of this, come all the way down to this order block down here, probably. Let's see, do we have a breaker? Low, low, higher, low. So we have a bullish breaker right here. So let's see how that works for us. So let's just bullish breaker block right at an order block. I'm just going to note all of this. Very, very small fair value gap all the way down here. And a regular order block right here. So bullish order block. Nothing too exciting on the way down. Oh, there looks to be I'm just gonna go a little nuts here. The liquidity right down there. Let's see, last line of defense. But I want them to take it, tap into this, and then continue on their way. They're just consolidating, and that news didn't do very much. And we are almost at equal lows here. So I want them to take it out, tap into it, turn, and go. That's what I want. That's what I'm expecting. But if the Dixie continues up, that might be a problem. Well, yeah, that might be a problem. Okay. So on the 5 minute, there's really nothing to do here. On the 1 minute, it can give you, hope. So if I were to do this on the 5 minute like that, that's what's happening. The order block, the breaker is actually all the way up here on the 5 minute order block. Okay. Oops. Let's break a block, fair value gap. My personal preference for a long entry would be consequent encroachment. 8 ticks. Ooh, not bad at all. It's below the breaker. It's not bad. Let's see. Uh, Given where the breaker is, I can probably do that. Make that 8 ticks. And then we could aim for above that. I think they're gonna make their way all the way up here and change. The ATR was like 79, 74, so maybe I'll aim for about 50, 60, approximately. Let's see. What I want to see is for them to come back down to it, and then what does a 2 minute look like? Hmm. I need them to take something out, because otherwise, oh, I said I was gonna stop at 8:30, didn't I? So far, this has been very good support. We are just going sideways, and that 8:30 news did literally nothing. All right, sorry, my work. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, that's a lot of taps. Should feel comfortable taking that long from there. Go ahead and give us a nice, good break. Yeah, that breaker, that bearish breaker, though. I mean, look at it on the 15. Clearly see it holding us down. Consolidating. We got to get out of the space. It's so funny how different price lakes give you different views of things. The 3 minute, the breaker, it's at the top of this. The 2 minute, the breaker is at the top of this green candle. The 5 minute, yeah, it's fascinating how these candles form. So yeah, gotta wait for it to break out of this thing and break away from this area. Well, as it stands, I have to get to my regular job, but let's see how price does its thing, right? Like for long, I'm literally looking for them to do a break, retrace back to an order block or back to a fair value gap, you know. So we saw what was essentially like consolidation here. They broke out of it and then came back into an order block and then continued, did an annoying consolidation, then continued on up. That's what I'm expecting. But it looks like I'm not going to be able to record that. And go from there. Let's see that one last thing. All right, so the Dow has been like, heck yeah, let's go. And the NASDAQ is, wow, isn't anywhere close to it. None of them are in confluence. None of them. Okay, so understand that none of them are in confluence, then I just sit on my hands and wait. Take my $100 and $100 loss and keep it moving. Literally. None of them are in confluence. None of them. That is telling. And the Dixie is dropping. It's come into this bullish order block. If it takes it out, then we're continuing down, and we can potentially look for higher prices. But nobody's is in sync. This is crazy. Nobody. Look at this. I mean, look at it. All the way down here. Technically, it's still below this high. And then he's made it up. So I guess technically down, down, up. So I don't know. I think it's bullish. We just have to wait for a proper shift out of this consolidation. As it stands, I need to go deal with my regular job. So I will be watching this peripherally. You guys be safe out there in your learning journey as I am in mine. Yes, I'm cold, sweater. Be safe. All right. Happy happy trading. Uh make sure and stay with your risk and money management. And like me, I am taking the time to learn to tape read. And once my tape reading is at least 80% in the right direction, then I can feel comfortable putting my money where my mouth is. Until then, I'm going to continue doing this. All right. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you feel like it. All right. Shakira out.